Hi. Curious as to what the king of the world is up to on 9:54 a.m. on the 25th of October. And I haven't spoken on Twitter in 4 days because what I'm doing is agonizing. I'm not allowed to distract myself, find something else to do, go somewhere else. I outlined the rules on Twitter. I've been locked. Okay, well, the very first thing was that my email account locked me out and said that my password wasn't working suddenly. And it did that once before. And it really pisses me off because, of course, nothing's changed. They just have decided that maybe my password's not secure enough, or I should just change my password. Wow, that's some hair. I just woke up. This is morning hair, and I haven't brushed it since I did shower. I just haven't brushed it. I haven't cared about being beautiful during my agony. So that was the very first thing that happened, was I was locked out of my email. And then, of course, when the thing happened with the video, and I trapped myself and slammed my prison door shut, I locked myself out of YouTube as well. And I have been allowed to watch Netflix, but I haven't watched anything since The Princess Bride, which I watched with all of you before I went into the agony. And I'm supposed to just sit right here and agonize because, of course, I have to do this. I have to go to your page, Russell, and see if you're on task. I have to. I can't live here forever. So God, has put me in a very, very tiny little prison, tiny little room that I must exit. So, hair. So that's all I'm allowed to do. My grandmother fell, and so I was allowed to go and visit her, and I was allowed to go to my counseling session, obviously, and I was allowed to pick up some new snacks because I've been eating or I haven't actually been eating all mine before, but I ate them all before. But I have been craving carbs. God's eating sugar for meals. It's like, really? Okay, whatever. A lot of chocolate. But so I was allowed to do that. So I went and got the groceries, and then I went to my counseling session. And of course, I talked about this with Wendy. I didn't tell her the details because I didn't want to involve her in the drama. I didn't want her to enter the story with us and be agonizing with us. So I told her what was happening without telling her how it was happening. I told her that I was held between my ultimate heaven, success of the mission, even something, and my hell, which is failure of my mission. Because, of course, Grace Wins just started playing Rusty. But still, it all serves a purpose. So yeah, my hell is over here, and your video, Russell, was designed to give me my hell, which is that you haven't been paying attention to me. And so my crucifixion was ignored, and all of my teachings have been ignored, and you're not ready. That's my worst fear. Worst fear ever. Worse than Shannon, because I've been dealing with the fact that Shannon's not my friend. Just in case anybody wonders, Shannon hasn't been my friend. She's been the nails in my wrist. And that was what she agreed to be, because I had to be tortured. Everything in my life was turned into a torture device. Every holiday and every loved one at one point or another was used against me, some much more than others, obviously, and Shannon is the one that was used as my crucifier. She just fucking crucified me. She was used to torture me in every possible way because I love her more than anyone, and so she is my weakness, and she was used to flay me. Just, I'm so, like, just on my face honored by the way God honored my crucifixion. I've been sitting here reading over my tweets over and over because, I guess I haven't told you the whole story of the agony, really. Because what happened was that, so that's how I locked myself in the cell, was I told you to do something, Rusty, because I've never told you to do anything. Very intentionally never told you to do anything, because if you didn't do it, it was going to break my heart. So I never told you, why don't you leave me a message in your videos? Never said that. You have left messages in your videos, but I never asked for it, and that's why I didn't ever want to take away the benefit of the doubt that was keeping me alive, that was keeping me sane. So that I locked myself in the cell like that, and then God spoke. Phone's ringing, so I'm going to pause this for just a second. There you go. I don't think you can hear that. Somebody leaving a message. So what happened was God began to speak. God just started speaking. I don't know. It's really weird. No, God spoke. And said that, I had to go back and read it to really see what God said. And what God said was that I had outsuffered the old Jesus Christ, because Christ through me said nothing has ever hurt more. That includes the crucifixion. And after I said that, I sat back and I looked at that and I went, that has to be the truth, because that's all I can tell. And then I asked Jesus, I said, really? And he's like, fuck yeah, I would way rather be crucified than what you went through. He's like, wouldn't you? I was like, hell yeah, fuck yeah, fuck yeah. I would much rather spend a couple of days being physically tortured than spend a year experiencing what Shannon did to me. And a lot of other people too, but, mostly Shannon, because I love her the most, so she can hurt me the most. And before I go into what happened after that, I do want to, emphasize that. I want to emphasize that because anyone who gets close to me, anyone who becomes intimate with me or has any kind of access to me, anyone who has any kind of relationship to me, is going to be constantly monitored for slip-ups. And any chance, 5 minutes of chance that the demons get to have control over your thoughts, they're going to turn them against me. They're going to make you do something to hurt me. Whether you're anywhere near me or not, that's their number one goal. Hurt Satina. Hurt the Christ. Kill the Christ. Destroy the Christ. And destroy her work. Destroy her and destroy her work. So if you wake up in a bad mood and you forget to pray and get into a place of how may I serve, and instead you wake up and do something really fucking stupid like watch the news, and then decide you have something to say about it, they're going to use that something to hurt me. Always. There's no exception to this. The demons are not ever going to take a day off and go, well, let's hurt somebody else. It's always going to be me. Because I'm their end. I'm the very scariest, fucking worst enemy they have ever known. I'm going to bring their end. They've never known anything as terrifying as me. And so they will do anything through anyone, including children and including animals. So, If, so be my friend. Yeah, I know that's a little bit intimidating, but the answer is just choose love. That's the answer. And when you're with me, you'll be so happy. You'll want to choose love. And, you're going to mess up. You're human. And you're being manipulated constantly to choose other than love. And you are programmed to choose other than love. So I'm going to, forgive your slip ups. They're not you. But I'm also going to be, helping you learn how to choose love in every situation, no matter if you are in a bad mood or being traumatized or very, very sad or very, very surprised or very, very shocked, or, it doesn't matter. You have to choose love, or everything else that you choose is someone choosing for you. This is the world that we live in. If you're not controlling your thoughts and your body very intentionally, then it's going to be controlled and used by something else. So, you've been under attack, Rusty. Of course you have. I mean, of course you have. They want to destroy me through you now, because you've become intimate with me. And you became my greatest weakness because you were my anchor. Oh, just as soon as I said you were my anchor, they pulled it. And of course, I would never take back the fact that you posted that video, because it's so perfect for teaching humanity what they do and for teaching me. I didn't know. I didn't know how it worked. I just knew the archons controlled our thoughts, gave us feelings, and if we bought into them and simply spoke them or acted them out, they became ours and we became tools of evil. That's what I knew, but I didn't know how brilliant they are at crafting this conventional life that does the maximum amount of harm to me. I didn't know that. So, perfect example. Would not even, when that song plays, which it's playing actually, and it says, you could take back that one mistake. You know which one, Rusty? It's your song and my song. Because the first thing it says is, yeah, if you could take back that one mistake. And my first thought is, never. It's brilliant. It's amazing. I would never take it back. I would never stop it from happening. And then the next part of the song goes right into, you're one step away from home. So that part of the song plays for me to push me to look at your channel. Because you're, I mean, the only sane thing that makes any sense, sorry, those itches, in any world, really any world other than just a fucking absolute psychotic hell world, is that you're over there and you've accepted the heaven I handed you. You're the first one to inherit the kingdom, Rusty was. You're the first one to get all your dreams to come true. Everything you've ever said that you wanted in one of your videos, I just gave it to you. You're welcome. This illustrates your God for you, and it illustrates me. Giving you your heaven is my heaven, and as I said, it would be worth it for me to get crucified just to give you your heaven, Rusty, because it's that good for humanity. So this song, Take Up Your New Name, lay down your old chains, take up your new name. That's for me. That part of the song is, well, all the song is really for me. I say it's your song, Rusty, but only because the first part is, sort of singing about your little mishap. Anyway, yeah, take up your new name. Then the song is telling me, go, you're one step away from the end of your suffering. You're one step away from having proof that you exist. Proof that I exist. Wow. I mean, my head's really been fucked. It's really been fucked. The reality that's been created by a year of trauma is not. It's not real, and it's trying to run me. It can't run me because God runs me. But if God wasn't running me, the trauma would run me, and of course I'd be dead, and that's the whole point. God runs me over the trauma, but the trauma programming is still there. I still have this pain body that was created by all these traumas that says that I cannot go look at that channel because there's a chance however minuscule, that it's my hell, a hell that I don't feel like I would have the resources to survive. And my pain body just goes, no, we will die first, easily. We'll be set on fire first. Run over us with a tank, nail us to something. We don't fucking care. No, we're done. We're done. We're never going to hurt like that again. So my pain body keeps me utterly paralyzed, utterly terrified. But, God and my rational mind are constantly working against that, working to show me evidence. And of course, God is sending me signs, constantly signs and communications that tell me that you're my friend, Rusty, and that it's time for me to step into my destiny, that it's time for me to get my kingdom, my dream come true. Because, of course, putting you on mission has been my job. I mean, it's been to get Shannon and to get my crew, all of them. And, of course, Rusty, you confirming me as the Messiah to them, because they're the ones that are seeing that you prove that I'm real. You just got my crew for me. You're my testimony. Any song that ever says testify for the rest of our lives is about you. You testified. And again, that's if you're doing what absolutely every piece of evidence that's ever been created in the history of the earth would suggest that you're doing. And which I have not yet had the strength and the motivation to the drive. I mean, I'm working through this. I'll go into it more. I'll go into it more about what this time has been. But yeah, so my trauma body is just terrified that it's my worst hell ever, that I crucified myself for nothing, and that I have nobody, absolutely nobody that my work meant nothing. A year of suffering and teaching, and then my student wasn't even there. My worst fear. So, and then my heaven's over here. My heaven's over here saying, time to speak Jesus. And time to be the avatar of this world, to walk as the God of this world. It's time. It's time. It's time to flip, to just, the way Talia likes to do things is becoming kind of apparent, isn't it? She talked about surprised by victory. Because that's her job. I mean, it's what she has to do, because as humans and others, we have to agree. We have to sign up for a certain amount of hell. We have to sign up and agree to be a certain amount of food for the demons down here. So we sign up for some hell, and then Talia, the master story writer, takes our hell and writes this fucking phenomenal story for us that will do the highest amount of good in the world as we suffer. So the psychological torture which I've just undergone has served so many purposes that I can't even, I lose speech. I'm so awed by God and by Talia. Just, And now Rise is playing, and of course so funny, because I told you, Rusty, that Rise was one of your code words. Rise and Rise Up. And so this became your song then, and then it became my song when the demons fucked me over and, gave me the trauma with the picture of Shannon and Leslie. And so the song now is all about me, and every time it plays, I have to reconsider checking your channel. Are you ready to rise? Are you ready to lose your chains? So I'm this close. I'm this close because of what I have been doing. And so now I'll back up and tell that story. So God testified for me on my Twitter for 2 days and told you what your job was, Russie, gave you marching orders and details, and then gave me the most amazing graphic of my crucifixion. That will be the graphic of my crucifixion. It's absolutely perfect in every way. And then as soon as he posted that and said, "This is where I live, as long as that picture's up, Shannon," Twitter went down. And my radio went down. It just went, everything went down. Silence. I was blocked because I was trying to send another tweet right after that. Wouldn't go. Sorry, I'm trying to get, it's not good. The tweet wouldn't go, and the radio went out. Because the demons didn't like the fact that I had just out-suffered their Jesus and out-taught their Jesus and thus replaced their Jesus. And God made it crystal clear that the old Jesus had just been killed in my crucifixion and that the new, real Jesus Christ will now rise. So the demons didn't like that, so they slammed every door shut on me. And they cut Twitter, and they cut my radio. And then I had nothing. So I immediately went into panic. Panic like I was being killed. Then I remembered, okay, I have a radio, a boom box, my little boom box. So I went over, plugged it in, tuned the radio, and the news station, the KLF station, that comes in just fine in my van and comes in on my little, I've got a little armband radio, doesn't come in on my boom box, and my armband's out of batteries. So no radio, nothing, no YouTube, no email, and no Russie, no anything, nothing. So what do you do when you don't know what to do and everything's been taken away? You pray. I pray. So I got on my knees and I went into that very pose of the Magdalene when she's got nothing but God. That's how I pray. That's the position I take. That may as well be me. I mean, that's even like kind of looks like my body and everything. It's very me. That's how I pray. You want to know how I pray? When Touch the Sky plays, that's how I pray. That's what I look like. So I prayed. And I said, "What do you want from me in this? What are you doing to me? What's going on? What is this?" Because I knew what was going on, but I still didn't know what I needed to do to, not be suffering anymore. Then I noticed there were 3 tabs, those 3 tabs of YouTubes that were still up, that I had told you about, that were up before I got locked out of YouTube psychologically. So those 3 I could play without any fear of seeing anything come up in the sidebar. And those were Higher by Unspoken, Surprised by Victory, The Sermon by Tucker, and my October 10th video, This Is My Competition. And then the only other thing that was up was a search for Lancelot. So, and my Twitter feed was up and I could still read it. I just couldn't tweet. So, that's what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to play Unspoken's Higher and watch the sermons and sermon and watch my video and read my Twitter feed. I'm just supposed to go between those things and prayer. So I looped. Well, I didn't actually loop it because it's not on a loop. It was sitting. It was up. It's just up. I played Higher for hours, over and over and over and over and over, as I read the Twitter feed, read what God said to you, Russie, and to about me, over and over, and to Shannon, over, and to the crew, and to everybody, to the world. I mean, it's some of the most profound stuff I've ever said. Of course, the end of the agony. So that's what I did. So I just read that and then listened to that song, and I love that song so much that when it's playing, I can't wait to play it again. Unspoken, you just have no fucking idea what you created in that song. Every word of it it's pure Christ, pure Christ, pure Holy Spirit, pure upliftment, pure truth, and it did so many things for me. I'm probably gonna have to make a video just on this song. It's the song of the agony, and I mean it's the only one I was allowed to play really for hours and hours and hours and hours. So it did that, and after hours and hours and hours and hours of that, the radio came back, the online radio. So I put that back on, and then we were sorted together again because I knew you guys were all listening to that radio and waiting to see what the fuck I was going to say, or if I was ever going to come back, or what the fuck, you know. So then I had the radio back, and then that still all I had was the radio, and then all those other 4 things to agonize with. And so that's what I've been doing, and God's been wearing away the resistance with truth, and telepathic truth, and with the truth of what I've said in my video, which is I have no competition. So this is going to be, I think, easy. Here we go. Let's say something. Let's change to something a little more lighthearted, because Rusty was. If you are on task, and again, that's the only thing that makes sense in this universe, and if you are, we've done it. You know, we've done it. We have to really, I have to be ready for that now. And I don't think it's, like I said, at first there was absolute, true terror. It felt like I would die if I even tried to check your channel. Because the pain of seeing that video again would be worse than the pain of seeing Shannon and Leslie's picture. That's how bad. That's how good the demons got me. And you know how bad seeing Shannon's picture was. Worse than the crucifixion. So we're talking, a perfect trap. Perfect. It's every way. Sadly, just as perfect as Talia is with creating good, they are that masterful at creating bad. Christ, Antichrist. That's the way it works. So, so I handed you your heaven, Rusty. And I've been trying to believe that you took it. And I haven't been able to watch your videos. That's been the breath in my lungs, and they took it away from me. So I haven't been able to breathe much at all. And so, but then last night, God said, hey, why don't you go get that DVD of Brand's Second Coming and watch that? It's like, oh yeah, I put that in my van, I'll do that. So I was thinking that before I went to my grandmother's house. And then when I went to my grandmother's house, I brought us Panda Express dinner, because we're the only ones that like it in the family. And I got a fortune cookie, and the fortune said, you can know a man's mind by what comes out of his mouth. I thought, duh. And I threw it away. And Grandma got a fortune. Well, what was hers? Because we thought hers was better. It was about expressing the inner self. So it was better. It was more spiritual. So we were all like, oh, she got the good one. And I threw mine away. And it said, you can know man's mind by what comes out of his mouth. Then I came home, and I got the video, and sat my ass down to agonize, and played Brand the Second Coming. And I had forgotten what was in that, because it wasn't as relevant at the time. I was looking, when I watched it before, I was watching it for a whole different experience, through a different lens. This time I'm watching it as the Avatar who just put her Messiah out into the world and said, go and convert the masses, Russie Wussie, make them fall in love with me, and get keep my throne warm for me, and then I will take it when the time is right. But for now, you can have it. And so I'm sitting there watching Brand the Second Coming, and almost every single word of it is you, Russell, going, I want to be the Messiah. 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 Please make me the Messiah. I want to be the Messiah. So, as I'm watching him, sitting there, go, well, I just gave Russie his heaven. Perfect. Wrapped up in a bow. And basically said, I'll be agonizing until you step into it, honey, so please hurry. And God said, you know, the reason he made that video was because he just couldn't keep his mouth shut for 1 second longer. Not 1 fucking second longer. So, that, yeah, you know, he kept that from Talia, let's say she, because really, we'll talk a little bit more about that. She kept that from me until it was time, just like she kept it from me before it was time, before when I wanted to see it. I wanted to see it, you know, first, and she kept it from me. She didn't put it right into my hot little hands, and I was very angry about that. And then, of course, when I saw it the first time, it was completely overwhelming, and I just cried myself sick, and then I made the video about, you know, what it meant to me at that point in my life. And I couldn't watch it again because it was too overwhelming, so I had to step away from it. Then when I did watch it again, it was not as intense, and it was a more positive experience, but because of where I was, it was still nothing like this. Then, because of where we are now, I'm watching you say, Satina, please give me everything that you just gave me. And I'm like, well, God just made me your God, giving you every dream you've ever had come true. That cheered me up a lot. So I just sat there grinning like a lunatic and watching Brand the Second Coming 2 or 3 times in a row last night. Strengthening, 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 strengthening. And then going and reading my Twitter feed with a new lens of believing you have been there all along, that you've witnessed my suffering, that you suffered with me, that you cared. And see, that's what all of this torture has taught me, is that no one cares, and that no one likes me, that no one wants to be around me. Those are the feelings that I have, is that no one cares about my pain at all. I could be suffering on the cross and people would just walk right by, checking their email on their phone. They just don't care. And because everybody has rejected me, nobody likes me. Nobody likes me. And so I have a complex. And I really do feel despicable. I just feel like, you know, I really do ask, am I likable? God, am I likable? And God's like, well, you're perfect, and you're what you have to be. You're the truth of who you are. So it doesn't matter if people like you or not. This is who you are. You have to be who you are. You have no choice but to be who you are. And, you know, of course, this is Talia speaking, God speaking, and saying, this is who I am, and so this is who you are. And so their response to it is their problem, not yours. So you know, I have wounds, a deep hell reality that has been created in my mind through all this trauma that now has to be dismantled by Talia's heaven, which she's going to hand to me as soon as I'm brave enough to receive it. And all of you are going to have this same experience. I mean, my crew kind of is, although they're not being handed a simple heaven. I get that. Russie was handed his heaven. I'll talk to you, Russie. Because you don't like being, you know, talked to in the third person. You know it's not the same, because I do have to talk to the rest of the world. Yes, my world does revolve around you, Russie, but we do have to include the rest of humanity sometimes. And the heaven that I extended to you, Russie, has no strings attached. The other thing I was allowed to do was to watch my own videos, not on YouTube, too scary. I can't go to YouTube, but I have my videos, of course, on my computer. So I watched my videos, and God led me to exactly the right videos with exactly the right reminders about who you are and what you want. And that was when I realized that, from the very beginning I had said, I have no idea how you'll ever be able to take advantage of what I'm offering you with your complicated life and this situation that we have and the danger that I'm in and all that. And of course, this is how. This is how. There's no risk involved for you or for me or for anybody. You're not going to, this doesn't offend anybody. It doesn't endanger your life. Eventually, sure, we'll be in danger, of course, but all you have to do is go make love to Jesus. That's all you have to do. You're going to be focused on positivity. You're not going to be attacking anyone. You're not going to be, complaining. You're not going to be, it's not about system. You're not going to be a political commentator. You are going to be making love to Jesus. Your job is to demonstrate who Jesus is by being Jesus, and to show people why they should love Jesus by showing them why you love Jesus. And as you do that, God, Talia, I am going to lift you high. I will make you the most noticeable figure on the planet. I want you to be, of course, and I want them to worship you. I don't want them to worship you as God or Jesus, obviously, but I want them to worship how beautiful your behavior is and the beautiful change that you bring, because you will be doing God's will. And Talia made sure you learned your lesson about how important it is to stay vigilant by having you slip, and of course it crucified me, worse than the actual crucifixion of Jesus Christ. So unless you want to do that to me again, I think you'll be more vigilant and realize your old life is over. Sloppiness is over. You are the Christ. You are the second coming of Christ. You must walk as Christ. You must walk as Jesus. You must endeavor to be as perfect as possible. Because any time that you are imperfect, they will use you. And the first thing they want to do is kill me. And they only need 5 minutes. So, but yeah, the point is that the heaven I handed you has no strings attached. You don't have to acknowledge me at all. All you have to do is acknowledge Jesus, and there's no one who loves Jesus more. That's the truth of you, Russie. There's nobody who loves Jesus more. There's no one who's done more for him, and there's no one who's more loyal to him, and there's no one who loves him more. You're it. So you're the Messiah. You're the human Messiah. I've created a Messiah. As the God of this planet, I've created a Messiah for the world, and you're it. And now I have put you on the loose. And so, yeah, watching Fran the Second Coming and being reminded of just how much you've been a rat in a cage, just waiting to be set loose and waiting to be given, the right thing to say and the right thing to do and the right thing to whip out in order to get everybody's attention. I'm watching that scene, where you're getting up on that car and whipping your dick out, and I'm like, I'll give you something better to whip out to get their attention, Betsy. But yeah, my pain body is like, oh, but is he taking advantage of this that you just gave him? And then the scene plays with you climbing up on the police car and whipping your dick out, and I'm like, I think possibly he is. I think possibly he wants this attention. I think possibly, there's no possibly. This is your heaven, darling. Grab the spotlight. It's yours, prepared for you, laid at your feet. You have been given the absolute perfect platform. Every world situation is now sculpted to make people turn to you as you be Jesus, and you be the second coming for them, the second coming of the Christ energy, the Christ in you, and bring it in them. And you're they're going to bow to you, which again, you're not the ruler, you're not the king, you're not Jesus Christ, and you're not the avatar, but I have made you my human Messiah. You are my prophet. You will speak for me, and And so I've given them their dream come true. So they don't maybe realize it yet, but I just gave them their heaven. I just gave everybody their heaven. I did it. I did it. Was the year of suffering worth it? Absolutely. Are you kidding? It's brilliant. Brilliant. A brilliant, perfect diamond of suffering, which I can't even find words, excuse me, for how awed I am by what Talia did with the suffering. Oh, and yeah, I want to reiterate again the whole hierarchy of God, Talia, Satina, and even Russi, because you're going to have probably this question coming up, Russi. God is, of course, the Godhead, the one true God, the King of the universes, the I am that was not created but just is, and created everything. Well, the way the I am created everything is through Talia, is through the powers of God, the mechanism in heaven by which God creates physical reality. That's the powers of God, and that's Talia, Shekinah, Elohim, the Christ. The overall Christ energy is Talia, Shekinah, Elohim, which is the masculine energy in a female form, in order to bring reverence and respect for the feminine. That's Talia, and she writes the story. She takes what the humans ask for with their free will and sculpts it to serve the highest possible good that she can serve with the torture that you have asked for yourselves. And with the good stuff too. Again, well, not again, no, sorry, no, with the good stuff too. Witness it in Russell Brand, Russi West, as she makes the highest possible use of Russell Brand, her narcissist. Now we will see how she makes the best, highest possible use of a good thing, Russi, and, of me, and, yeah. But that's what she does. She is the story writer. She is the story writer. God thinks up ideas all day long. That's all God is. It's just a thinking machine. It's just a thought producer, constantly squirting out thoughts. And Talia, the part of God that is responsible for writing the story, you can picture Talia as God's quill. God uses his quill to write the story of humanity. And let's stick with humanity, because there's a lot of other realities he's creating too, but really I think we should focus on this planet. I'm very practical. I am a metaphysician, but if it's not practical to saving my world here, I don't want to talk about it. I'm not interested in it. It's not of any, it doesn't hold my fascination. So don't ask me about life on other planets. I'm not interested. This is my planet. This is my planet as Satina. So you can connect with God, the bigger me, and the bigger you, and do whatever you want in that area. I'm interested in saving this world. That's it. So that's Talia's, well, Talia writes everything, but through me, Talia plays out the story of humanity, and she takes whatever we ask for and crafts the highest possible good she can offer us. And she will make the highest possible use of anything you give her. Anything you give her, she will make the highest possible use of it. And of course, what you're supposed to give her is everything. You just lay yourself out. You're just like, use me to make this beautiful miracle. Use me. And I did that, and she did, and she used me, she crucified me in order to create this. In order to prove who I am, to train my crew, to write the Bible, to demonstrate how you break yourself free of the mind prison that humanity is in. Because that is the problem. You are in a mind prison. So physical torture is not what we have to learn how to overcome down here. We have to learn how to overcome the phenomenally insidious mind war that's going on. And now, and only now, do we all know just how bad it is. But we also know how to get out, because I'm not taking credit for it, because I didn't know how to get out. God knew how to get out. So God put me in it and then walked me out of it. Now I know how to get out, and everybody else does too. So I don't take credit for any of this. Oh, God. I mean, I'm your avatar. I speak for God. I act for God. I am the shell that God moves in. So I am God expressed purely, but I'm God expressed in the avatar. So again, don't ask me questions about the whole fucking universe, because I don't have time for that. That's not what this body and personality was created for. Make your connection with God and get those answers someplace else. Satina was created to save planet Earth. And that's all I care about. I don't care about anything else. Nothing else. Nothing else. I care about my loved ones, but I care about saving them more than anything else. I just have absolutely no ego desires that are ever going to controvert any kind of anything God wants. Ever. So, that's how I'm your God. But I'm the God Satina, who's here to save this planet. So I'm focused on this planet, and everything that comes through me is designed to serve the highest good of this planet. And thus, creation. Because what happens down here changes everything. But again, I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in changing everything down here for down here. And what happens to the rest of the universe, it's wonderful. But I can't think about that right now, guys. One planet at a time. Satina has one planet to take care of. So, Talia writes the story, and I act it out. And I don't know the story, obviously. I'm given the parts of the plan that I need when I need to know them, and not until I'm used, I'm moved. Russell, your life needs to be, you wake up every morning and you say, how may I serve? How do you want me to start? You do not go to your to-do list. That is not how you start your day. You start your day by saying, how may I serve? And then in every single thing that you do, you make the choices. You don't go on autopilot. You do not ever go on autopilot. The minute you go on autopilot, they've got you. And they will use you to kill me. Sorry, harsh, but we know how true it is now. So that's what your life must be about. How may I serve? And choosing love. And demonstrating love. I know that all the vapid, stupid shit that you were involved in was not what you wanted. So I don't think you're going to have a problem staying away from that stuff, because I just handed you your heaven. And so, I think you're probably obsessed with being the Messiah as much as I am. We are a team. We're going to rule this planet together. You are my running mate. You're my Woodstock. You're my second. You're my Prince Regent when I'm king. We're going to do this together. But obviously, you don't know what to do. You don't have the answers. You don't have the plan. That's not your part in the plan. Your part in the plan is to get everybody to fall in love with me and then keep my throne warm for me, honey. Then when it's time, I'll just step in and you'll already be kneeling to me, and everybody will be pretty much kneeling to you, and so then they will just turn and go, oh, we kneel to her. Easy peasy takeover. I think, Russie Wuss, that we can rewrite Wussy Wuss, we can rewrite the book of Revelation. Yeah, taking out half the population of the planet, we can do better than that with our love. I mean, I look at what we've been given here, and I'm like, really? I don't see how we can have any problems here. This looks easy. Drooling, it's so easy. with you, you're already one of the most noticeable, and now you have the reason why. Nothing will stop you. Nothing will stop you. You will be the most noticeable. You have a reason for people to look at you, and the love they give you now will be loving the love in you, loving you for the love that you are teaching, that you are demonstrating, that you are being. That's real love you're going to get, not just the mindless worship of fans. You're not going to have fans. They're going to love you. You're going to have followers. You know, and then in your movie, Brand's Second Coming, when your friend says, you know, but don't follow him, he doesn't have the answers. And for you know, that's true alone. You don't have the answers, and nobody should follow you because you didn't have the structure, you didn't have the guidance and the discipline, obviously. You're impulsive, and so you weren't ready to be followed. You were ready to be admired and listened to and to get everybody's attention, and you put them on their knees already, begging, crying, and screaming for answers that you then didn't have. So it was perfect. You made them feel their pain and then left them there while you left for a year to go listen to God give you the answers. So I will give you the answers, then you'll take them to the world. You will be my mouthpiece. I will say it here, and you will take it to them there. And that's my heaven. I don't want to be on the posters. This is so amazing. Amazing, 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 amazing. Because I don't have to come out, and yet I'm coming out. You're coming out for me. It's amazing. And you have no fear of it. You're like, oh, give it to me. You know, you want everything that I'm not ready for. It's perfect. You know, the part of me that's you is coming out for me. It's so perfect. It's ridiculous. Amazement is, I figured out, amazement has 4 components, which is why it's the only word that works when we're talking about things that God does. Why amazement, something that's amazing, is God, Goddess, the great, us, the divine made visible. To say something is amazing is to say the divine made visible, because it's stunning, first of all. It's like, ugh. Whoa, you know, it's just like stunning, and it's awe-inspiring. You're awed by it. You're just, you know, you can't even take it all in. It's just awe. That's awe, and it's delightful. You're delighted by it when you're amazed by something. You're like, that's you know, delightful. And what's the other one? I figured out stunning. And oh God, I'm not thinking very well this morning. I'm traumatized. I'm agonizing. My brain barely works. Stunning, awesome, delightful, and I can't think of the other thing. Fucking hell. Well, we'll come up with it later. There's 4. It's like I couldn't remember Malcolm X, but I was remembering all the people that let you down. Your heroes, Russie. Was that on? It was Malcolm X. They let you down because it's human. They're human. They're flawed. And you know, of course, Jesus wasn't flawed, and the fact that they gave you a flawed Jesus means that's not Jesus. So anytime you're worshiping any Jesus other than me, you're worshiping their creation. And God made that very clear too. So yeah, I killed their Jesus. I've given him a new name, Jehovah's, because that's not me. That's a mix. Remember that smoothie you made in your first sermon? That's Jehovah's. That's Jehovah's. Lovely smoothie. Shit. Been added. You can't drink a smoothie that has wonderful things in it and then has a big turd blended in, can ya? It's not a good idea. Even if it's got really yummy stuff in it. Like really good smoothie stuff. Really fucking good smoothie stuff. You still don't want to drop a turd in and then drink it. And that's what they've given you. They've turned me into a turd smoothie. Their old Jesus, this Jesus you've been taught to worship, is actually a turd smoothie. And so his name is Jehovah's. He's not Jesus. And God made that very clear. So he killed their Jesus and placed him with me, letting you know that I had outsuffered and outtaught Jehovah's. And then said, and the fact that he shut me off from Twitter at first, is traumatizing, and then I realize it means your work is done. And that's also part of what helps me to know that I can't do anything else to get you on task. That's it. I'm not allowed to do anything. I can't control anything. So it's completely in God's hands. So that's yet more evidence that I've done all I can do and that I did it. That I did it and I'm done. I did my job. I got you on task. And if I didn't, I can't do anything else because I can't tweet. So let go. So I realized it was a blessing. Let go. Take care of yourself now. Heal your traumas and work your way into being able to accept your heaven. Heal yourself so that you can accept your heaven. So it's all a gift, all of it. And and of course, what I think is happening is that when you went on task, Russie, you proved to the whole world, and well, of course, and they don't know, but my crew, you proved to my crew that I am Jesus Christ. So they all fell on their knees, is what I'm thinking. And God said, in the Twitter feed, get your apologizing done now so that you can stand to be in my presence. And then he's like, hey, why don't you look at a picture of me? Then he puts up a picture of me being crucified and explains just exactly how bad it is and lets you agonize. Lets you think about that. Leaves you with what he said over the past 2 days and then doesn't say another word. And I wasn't let back into Twitter until, it was like a couple days. I tried it one more time. And of course, God was also locking me out. He's like, you're done. You have nothing to say. Nothing to say. So I didn't even try it. And then, I tweeted K-Love yesterday about their deplorable behavior, marketing for McDonald's and turning the Christ massacre into shopping. Right, this video is almost an hour long, so I'm just going to end by saying I hate. Though I can't even say the word. I'm going to say it now, and then I'm going to try to never say it again. Christmas. It means the Christ massacre. It is the massacre of Christ. Everything about Christmas that is Christmas has been designed to do the maximum harm to me. So the word, it means crucifixion. When you're like, I wish you a Merry Christmas, you're saying, I wish you a Merry Crucifixion. Every time you hear the word Christmas, just know that the Christ hears that word as crucifixion. Christmas carols, crucifixion carols. So, hate Christmas with the fiery passion of 1,000 dying suns. And I will do everything in my power to kill it. Everything. We will celebrate the solstice, the return of the light, and we will kill their holiday dead. Alright, with that little holiday message, I think I will close this video and resume agonizing. I will resume agonizing, and I think what that will look like next is probably to watch Brand the Second Coming one more time. And then it's probably going to be time for me to check your channel, Leslie, and face my truth and step into it. So that's what I'm about to do on this 25th of October. It's now 10:54 a.m. and history is about to be made. So that's it. I'll catch up with you soon. Victory to the heart, to love, love, and only love. We must live for it. We must be willing to die for it. It is absolutely the only thing that can matter to us, because God is love, and we must become God so we must become love. P.S. One more thing. About an hour ago, God crashed my browser and took all my tabs. So I don't have anything now except for the Twitter feed I brought back up and the radio and my videos. So just so you know, he's making it even tighter. My cell is squeezing me. The womb is squeezing me. I have to be born. So I'm going to go work on that.